Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this key 70 and chapter 3 entitled God Great Overall Dimensions. Well, without necessarily feedbacking in quote mark what we say before, I invite you to watch again the other ones, but this video is independent from the other ones. But basically, no need to precise that this is not supposed to be objective, is not supposed to be exhaustive. It is just a part of the puzzle game. Okay, my humble experience, my testimonies, the testimonies of different people, but it's just a survey. This is also the fruit of combining different philosophies, different religions, different angle of the spirituality, and so on, so far. I say several times, but I repeat again, it's not exactly his words, but Rumi, the great Sufi, said, truth was like a mirror in the hands of God. It fell and it's broken. Everybody take a piece and say, all the truth is inside. Okay, so keep this in mind. This is what I try to bring you, is just a part of the puzzle game. Okay, just a single piece to bring this piece to the masterpiece. Okay, so let's try to start. We're gonna talk about one thing that I already evoked, okay, without necessarily repeating, but maybe with a certain synthesis, with the notion of science and God. So we spent 1 month and 4 chapters, 4 videos with science and spirituality, okay, and within spirituality you have a subset of God, okay? So, but here I'm gonna try to establish a link between both, despite the fact that they are not, let's say, in opposition normally. They are more perceived as a complementarity, okay? That's why the new, let's say the recent, quote unquote, recent 1 century, the new scientists like Einstein, like Schrödinger, like Tesla, like Max Planck, and so on, they were, let's say, spiritual. Okay, so it's not necessarily in opposition. Okay, I insist hardly. Also, what we can say is, in the notion of God, is we can say that it's a bit like love. Okay, love, you can say, oh, I don't know, it's a kind of feeling I have in my blood, in my mind, and so on. Say, I have her or him, okay? It's not rational, I'm attracted, okay? It's stimuli and so on. So it would be, let's say, affect. It would be a spirituality, my faith towards God. It's like this. I didn't do anything for that. And secondly, I rationally, oh, this person, she's gentle, she's a beautiful soul, she's matching with all my expectation, and thereby I built love. Okay, so it's a kind of rationality, a construction, and on the other way around is more feeling. Okay, rationality and feelings, but love is combined, both normally. Okay, it can be separate, but both are love. Okay, so here it is, the link in a certain extent. God would be, okay, for the believers, okay, for religious, knowing that the etymology of religion in Latin, religare, means to connect. Okay, so it means 4 things. I mean 3 things. The first one is to reconnect to yourself. Okay, know thyself and you will know the secret of God and the universe is the philosophy, the Greek philosophy of Delphi. Okay, first, but to mankind also. It means to reconnect to humanity. But despite the fact they are believer or not, okay, despite they are adhering to your religion or not, okay, is this, okay, all regardless the origins and so on and so forth. So to be peaceful towards them, okay, it's unconditional love. It doesn't mean that you love all of them, you want to be friends with all of them, just you respect, you tolerate the difference. That's the point. To reconnect as well with nature, okay, with the invisible world as well, okay, energies, and thereby also God. But God would be this this substance, this essence more, connecting everything to everything else. Okay, you remember what I say with Da Vinci. If you want to develop a complete mind, develop the study the art of science, study the science of art, develop your senses, especially how to see, and realize that everything is interconnected and entangled. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that it doesn't establish a bridge. I mean, he established bridges, sorry. It doesn't make any separation with science, discoveries, breakthrough, and so on, and faith. Why? Because as the Bible states, seek and you will find. Okay, what does it mean? The more you seek, and the more difficult it is, according to me, to not to believe. Why? If you study nature with botany, if you study, for example, biology, your cells and so on, meiosis, mitose and so on, is just amazing. If you study cosmos with astronomy and so on and so forth, is so wide, is so huge that it's difficult not to believe in a desire. You know, it's not exactly the words, but Voltaire, the great philosopher of lights, enlightened philosopher for French Revolution and so on, he say, I cannot consider this watch doesn't have any watchmaker. What does it mean? It means that you have the electronic device, and necessarily inside there is a lot of small components and all of the organization. But how come this watch didn't fall down like this, appear like this by chance? It's the fruit of a watchmaker. So for him, the fact to admire life, nature, and so on, there is necessarily something behind, a desire. Like when you watch a movie or a piece of theater, you know, there is a scenarist, co-scenarist, and so on. There is actor, there is backstage, and so on. And for him, there is a backstage. The backstage would be the invisible part of the world. And this is also what Victor Hugo, the great French writer, he said. This is a sad thing to consider that nature talks and mankind remains deaf. Okay, so nature, you can say God. Okay, through nature there is a manifestation, a will. This is the key word, a will, willingness, will. Okay, it cannot be the fruit of, let's say, chance. Okay, or chance is extremely lucky, and or chance has a lot of chance. Very lucky. Well, so, okay, thank you. So, what I try to tell you is there is necessarily religion and spirituality is more regarding the principle of God as the creator, okay? And science is more studying the phenomenon with, most of time, after a certain expertise, a notion of will. That's the point, okay? And I told you the different scientists who were deeply believer, not necessarily religious, but they could not consider that there was not a will and a divine matrix. That's the point. Science and spirituality. The most interesting thing I consider is the Vitruvian man. You know, manpower. Okay, I talk about that. So it's from Da Vinci. It's not from him, but he borrowed, we can say. Anyway, what I try to tell you is it's evoking a man, mankind. Okay, within a square and within a cycle. The cycle is the yin energy, feminine energy, spirituality, metaphysics. Meta in Greek means beyond, the backstage, beyond the physics, invisible part. And the square is the rationality, the structure, the framework, and so on. So it's more science, okay? But it's combined together because Da Vinci was a mystic. It was mystical. He was a great, let's say, insider. And in parallel of that, he was discreet about that, but he learned about flower of life and so on. he has some drafts. We can find on internet quickly. If you type Flower of Life Da Vinci, you will find it. His personal draft and draws. And he was an engineer. He was everything. Okay, he for me expressed the divinity or expressed its potential. Okay, he was enthusiastic. I told you many times, enthusiastic means literally in Greek, crossed by God or crossed by divinity, or you activate your divinity, okay, as a potential. So this is really interesting. Why? Because, you know, as Rabelais, the French philosopher, said, science without conscience is only a grain of salt. But I think it's also true on the other way around. That's why Einstein say science without religion is lame, religion without science is blind. Okay, you can change and switch religion and spirituality is same. Okay, this is really important to combine. We are in a holistic period. I mean, duality is finished. Good, bad, white, black, and so on and so forth. Why? Because there is 50 grade of shades. Shade of gray. Sorry, there is the rainbow, and there is invisible colors. You see, this is a metaphor. Spectrum of light. Okay, you can just see as a human being between 400 roughly and 800, between the infrared and the red and the violets. Beyond of that, you cannot see. Infrared, ultraviolets, you cannot see, perceive. It's real. Radar, Wi-Fi, and so on is energy. It's not visible. It exists. It's not a superstition. Okay, so that's why it's important to compose with both. Well, let's continue with one thing very important. I told you, the more you study and the more it's difficult not to consider there is a will. Cosmos in Greek means literally order. But if there is an order, it means that there is someone or something who assembly, organize. There is an orchestration. Otherwise, it's like, okay, I play music, and then it's not nice. Okay, it's not organized. So necessarily, watchmaker. Okay, so the probability, even if you take your own body, okay, your own body, or even the universe, the probability that life is possible is so low. Okay, the equivalent of 10 power 60 that life is possible. There is 4 forces, to make it short. Weak and strong nuclear force, magnetism, and electromagnetism and gravity. Okay, 4. It's a good dosing. It's a fine tuning. Otherwise, the notion of distance and so on, otherwise, life wouldn't be possible, and I wouldn't be talking now. Okay, so the probabilities are 10 power 60. Okay, maybe it doesn't evoke anything for you. It's like if you are shooting, okay, just 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, 14 billion light years. Okay, so that's why I say chance is very precise and or very lucky. You know, it's, if you want to see, is like to put a bomb in a printing press shop. Okay, printing press. Okay, so there is only a typing machine, and then you put a bomb, so poof, this explodes, and then by exploding is printing naturally. Okay, is a metaphor, and then after that it's organized as an incredible, infinite library. Okay, with departments, with books, with chapters, with subsets, with sentences, with words, and with senses. Okay, meanings. Okay, and then we say, yeah, it's just like this. It's happened like this. It's like you put different components, maybe billions of components of a plane, okay, on the floor, over, I don't know, a few kilometers. Then there is a storm, and then whoop, combining, putting together, and then, wow, miracle, you have a plane, and you say, yeah, it just is nature. It's like random. Okay, once again, I insist, keep in mind, chance, universe, chance, the universe, life, has a lot of chance, or is very precise or very lucky as well. Okay, anyone Listen to that. It's from Einstein. Anyone who is seriously involved in the process of science becomes aware of the manifest presence of a spirit far superior to that of man, in front of which, with our modest faculties, we must feel humble. Very important, feel humble. What does it mean? It means that there is a manifest, to be aware of the manifest presence of a spirit for him superior to the one of mankind. So Einstein think there is a will, a superior will behind of us. Okay, so it's not me who say that. David Bohm, who is a great scientist, Einstein said he was his mentor. So he's a great scientist, not very known, and he was a mystic as well. And he said something very interesting, amazing even. Nature has meaning and therefore consciousness, even at the level of electron. The consciousness is everywhere and in all things. What does it mean? It means that there is a consciousness in your cells. If you study biology, the duplication of meiosis, mitose, and so on. Did you order something? Did you say, okay, go this, and then you do the let's say the conductor? You say, do that, do that. You have billions and billions of cells. Okay, your immune system, when you're sick, for example, you don't say, okay, you have to do that, white cell, you do that. And you, this, like, military plan, and so on. No. It's done naturally because there is individual consciousness. There is individual consciousness within everything. This is what is said. And this is just amazing. Why? Because the presence is everywhere through everything. That's the point. And that's why through the spectrum of science, we can consider it would be the manifestation of God. So, if we go further, I like to say awakening is an expansion from the point of attention, and awakening is an expansion from the point of consciousness. Try to figure out. Reality is constantly fluctuating point of view simultaneously. What does it mean? It means that, it would be the particle of God, God particle, like Higgins particle, would be the pixel. And the pixel is connecting everything to everything. And behind of that, it would be the manifestation of consciousness. That's why I like to say, but this, I repeat what I say, but this is what Victor Hugo said. Consciousness is God within man. Mankind. Okay? This is fabulous. So, we are coming from this point. He said nature has a meaning and therefore consciousness, even at the level of electron, the consciousness is everywhere in all things, even the very, very tiny things, at the Planck level, for instance. Pascal is a French philosopher, and he said we don't know what he's talking about. Is it about consciousness? Is it about God? Is it about the third one? I have my idea about that. It's a sphere whose center is everywhere, whose circumference is nowhere. Keep this in mind. So I come back to Jean-Émile Charon. Same, is a scientist and philosopher. I love he's combining both. He's already in the holistic perception. He said, in the universe, every atom is connected to everything, to every other atom. Sorry, I repeat again. In the universe, every atom is connected to every other atom through the substance, the esprit of antimatter. And every knowledge is potentially accessible to every atom of the universe. You can download. You have it. You have this access, this Wi-Fi, this natural Wi-Fi, this natural connection. I told you, religion means literally that, to be connected to yourself, and know thyself and you will know the secret of the universe and God. Okay, means that you have within. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Bible. Okay, Luke 17:21. Okay, so all is converging towards the source, and everything is coming from the source. If you keep catch what I try to tell you. Planck, Max Planck, Nobel Prize, of physics in 1980. Okay, he said all matters come from a force and exist only by it. We must assume the existence under this force of a conscious and intelligent spirit. This spirit is the matrix of all matter. Okay, so what is the most important? He say we must assume the existence under this force of a conscious and intelligent spirit. This spirit is the matrix of all matter. I do agree in advance for the skeptic. It's true that it's just we must assume. It means it's not this is the truth. We must assume. But after he say this spirit is, it's not a conditional because it's not assuming, it's not we guess and so on. No, it is. So this spirit is the matrix of all matter. Huh? Does it matter? Yeah, it does. You understand my point? It means that according to this great scientist, Max Planck is one of the 5 person scientists who discover in quantum mechanics, put a label on the quantum mechanics. Okay, Prime Nobel in 1918. So it's not dummy. It's someone rational. Okay, so for him there is a force and a consciousness and a spirit. Okay, which is the spirit is the matrix of the matter. You know, this is exactly what we combine in the ancient Hindu philosophy. The Vedanta, the Veda and so on, state exactly the same. The notion of a magnetic field, okay, encompassing, entangling everything, every unit things of the universe, visible, invisible. And literally, this is what I explained in the key 12 with energy, with the notion of the subtle energy that we call in different culture qi in Chinese, qigong, tai chi, okay, ki in Japanese, it is you have the reiki. What else? Prana for Hindus, Buddhists. In Western civilization with Greek is ether, E-T-H-E-R, ether or quintessence, okay, the 5th element, okay. So I know that in Western countries, I mean philosophy and culture, nowadays in a materialistic vision civilization, everything should be tangible, okay. And we saw that Einstein say there is no matter, the only matter, the tangible part is only energy which has been reduced to be perceptible to our senses. And he finished by stating, Einstein said, there is no matter. I mean, there is no tangible matter. This is not tangible. This is only vector. This is only, let's say, forces. Okay. Well, anyway, just to tell you that this is interesting to combine with the notion of quintessence, 5th element. Okay. So, and also that we have, in a certain extent, in the dark energy or the dark matter is not visible. I told you many times. 4% is only visible matter. Okay, dark matter is 27% and 67% is dark energy. So Saint Thomas, who believe only in what he can see, he can only see 4%, and beyond of the spectrum of light, he cannot see the infrared, the ultraviolet, and so on. Okay, you understand? Of course, I think it does make sense. The French Vietnamese astrophysicist Trinh Xuan Truong said, Buddha, by the strength of his mind, had the intuition that everything moves and evolves. Now modern science abounds in that direction. The universe is expanding and everything constantly changing. That's why I say at the beginning, the living, which is the metaphor of God, the living is living. It means literally is evolving as well. Okay, it's a verb that you can conjugate in a certain extent. Another Max Planck, he says something very important. Fasten your seatbelt is extremely important. The divine matrix is our word. It is also everything that exists in our world. It is us and everything we love, create and experience. Living in the divine matrix, we express as artists our most secret passions, fears, dreams and desires through the essence of a mysterious quantum web. This is interesting. Why? Because it's absolutely matching with, you know, in the Bible, in Genesis, it's stated, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Okay? All right. Change just word, sorry. The word means logos. In Greek philosophy, logos means the form and the content. It means the meaning and the euphonia. It means the music, okay, the sound. So, the meaning and the form and the energy, the substance. That's why Freud, okay, father of psychoanalysis, he say that magic and language was at the beginning the same thing. This is what I explained in the key 19, magic, okay? The magic stick. Okay, what I try to tell you is that the word, when we say in the beginning was the word and the word was in God and the word was God, change the word by vibration. Okay, in the beginning was the vibration and the vibration was with God and the vibration was God. Okay, and now take the very famous quote from Nikola Tesla from last century. 1 century ago, he said, if you want to find the secret of the universe, think in terms of frequencies, vibration, and energy. If you want to find the secret of the universe, think in terms of vibration, frequencies, and energies. Okay, so in the beginning was the vibration, and the vibration was with God and the word. Okay, so what does it mean? Understand? More seriously, the silence talks. Okay, but it would be a substance. It would be an essence, wordless, and a kind of energy. So no need to talk about it. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. More seriously, let's continue. Sorry about that. It's exciting as well. We can have fun as well with God, because I'm pretty sure that God has more humor than some of his own creator, who created probably with self-derision and self-humor as well. Joke aside. So 7, more seriously, this is a serious topic. God consciousness and God in consciousness. What does it mean? Actually, there is, according to me, the law of God, okay, and the law of mankind. Unfortunately, law of mankind most of the time is supposed to be God's law of God, but it's just a perception, because I told you, everything is subjective. What I'm doing now is subjective. Okay, my point of view, my culture, and so on and so forth. So, regarding to the initial sentence from Rumi, the truth was like a broken mirror, and so on. Everyone take a small piece and say everything. All the truth is there. This is what I say when I say the absolute truth is the sum of the relative truth. The absolute truth would be from the absolute, that's to say God, okay, divine, not human. And the subjective reality, truth would be angle of vision. Once again, what you see is just an angle of vision. You can put the camera here and so on and so forth. And even if you would have had, let's say 3D or 360 degrees, it wouldn't be reality, because you cannot see within my cells and so on. Okay, and even that is just a picture. Is just a movie. Okay, so 1 second is 24 images, but there is more than this probably, and it's evolving with time. Well, anyway, without going too far, Tesla said every living being is a motor connected to the driving wheel of the universe. While one might think that each living being is affected only by his direct environment, its external sphere of influence extends to infinity. Our sphere of influence extends to infinity. It means that we are connected through a substance, the chi, the ki, the prana, the quintessence, the ether, and apparently it would encross everything through everything. Okay, and Actually, that's the point when I say that the cell have a consciousness and so on, but consciousness is God present within mankind, within human being. Okay, this is Victor Hugo who said that. I love, this is very poetic. This is from Rumi, the great Sufi, who lived there, by the way, in Konya. He finished his life there. He said, I saw God with the eye of my heart. I asked him, who are you? He answered me, you. Okay, so it means that literally God would be high vibrations, okay, of unity, of oneness, of fulfillment, full, everything. You understand? That's the point. So high vibration would be unity. Low vibration would be matter. It does matter and materiality. You understand? So, and the other one would be light. You know, light. Okay, white light less. Okay, and light like photons. But it's divine light. It's different. Okay, with a capital letter. Without going too far, Rumi says as well one thing very important, because there is a notion of, let's say, reciprocity. Okay, there is consciousness and the consciousness with capital letter. We have a filter of consciousness, and there is the consciousness. Consciousness, the small consciousness, I mean, would be an alveolus of the cosmic breath, if you understand what I mean. A small part of the cosmic breath or cosmic lung, okay, but containing everything. Okay, this is the notion of resonance. To understand properly, if you know genetics, the DNA contain the entire pattern of UDNA. I mean, a gene, sorry, contain the entire pattern of UDNA. Okay, it's the same thing. So there is a reproduction in every part of your genes, contain the entire pattern of your DNA. That's the point. So Rumi say you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean within a drop. This is gorgeous, divine. This is extremely beautiful because it's reciprocity. Okay, so it means there is the notion that we will develop later in the next video, is the notion of fractal universe, holotropic fractal universe. What is fractal? Check on internet, is science. It's from Mandelbrot, a Swiss scientist. Very interesting. And this is at the origin of binary system of computers, IT, let's say. Concretely, is a pattern reflecting, evolving, growing up, and reducing more and more. So type on internet fractal, F-R-A-C-T-A-L. Okay, so, and you will understand. So it's reproducing all the time. This is exactly the Indra's net. Okay, in Vedanta, Vedas, that's to say the Hindu mysticism, that to say is like, you know, you have a spider net, and with the water on the morning, and each drop each drop reflects the entire pattern of the spider net. That's the point. Okay, so let's continue and to finish on these points. That's also the notion of, you know, you access to the consciousness as well. You know, when you hear before Abraham was I am, we think it's a question of grammar, and it's because Abraham, just for history, is in Ur, in Mesopotamia, in Iraq currently. So it's 3,300 years before Jesus Christ. So when Jesus say before Abraham was I am, is the true I am. A true I am is the consciousness. Is not belonging to anybody. You access to these frequencies. It's like, and I think the I am is not really is not correct. It's just that it's confusing because it's referring often to the ego, but it's not that. It should be. It is. It is. Okay. And we think there is something else later, right? But no, it is basically, or that is, or this is. But even that is this and that. There is notion of distance, but it is. Okay. So what do I mean? It means that this is an essence. You can have access. You download or you activate within, or you take an example down to earth. you use your fine tuning with your radio, okay, and FM, free waves, you catch music, a certain radio, fun radio, for example, fun radio, and you have music, okay, because you tune, and then if you change, you access to another program, okay, MW, mid waves or low waves, and so on. You have sport and you have news and so on, okay. So it's not within your electronic device, it's just your access to this vibration. The Christ, we will talk about that in the future, the Christ energy is not belonging to Jesus Christ, Jesus the Nazarene. It is like Buddha, it just access and activate this within him, okay. But Jesus or Buddha invited everybody to do the same, saying, okay, you will do better than me. Okay, they don't care about the fact we are grateful and so on, in a certain extent, as a statue. Oh, thank you for, okay, thank you for having given some advice, some tips and so on, but do it. It's like, you know, if you go to a concert of music and you just focus, you don't listen to music, you just focus on the conductor. Okay, it's beautiful, he has a nice gesture and so on. So is on the other opposite side, you don't see his face, but anyway, and just you focus on this, you don't focus on the music, okay? Or you just focus on the dirty mark on his clothes, okay? And you just focus on that. You understand my point? So this is the messages, the messenger are conveying some messages, and the most important one is you can have access to this divinity, to this vibration, okay? That the most important things. It doesn't mean that it's, oh yeah, it's so easy and so on, we are all gods and so on. We are all potentially, okay, divine, potentially. Okay, when we are in the spiritual ego, I am better than everybody, I know a lot of things and so on. We are not, we are out. Ego age God out. Okay, we will talk about that in next video. Okay, ego is not bad. Is a good servant. Is a bad master. Okay, is a vehicle. Do I kiss my car? I don't have car, right? You understand my point. Do I deify my car? No. Okay, that's the point. It's just a way to bring you a transportation mean. That's it. Okay, a word to a wise. So concretely, God experiences himself. I hate himself, herself, itself, oneself. I told you, but we are limited with simple words. So God experiences oneself through us. We experience ourselves through him, her, it, us. I don't know. Okay, you understand my point? There is reciprocity, and when Jesus says so, is the expression of the materiality of the divinity in a certain extent within humankind. That's the point. Okay, so I am the Son of God, I am the light, and so on. He say you are as well. Just activate in a certain extent. Okay, so very important. I invite you to think about the notion of automatic pilots. Okay, you have a car, and either you let it go, okay, and you just observe. There is AI, okay, artificial intelligence, and you let it go, okay. It's evolved. Or you take manual pilots and you manage. Okay, there is the notion, we will talk about that, the notion of free will. Free will, you have free will, W-I-L-L, or W-H-E-E-L, okay, referring to the key 43 regarding destiny, okay, and free will. Okay, are we on the path? There is different paths. Can we can we angle and so on? This is according probably our state of mind, our consciousness, our vibration. Okay, that's why when Einstein say, in a certain extent, tune the frequencies of the reality you want, and you cannot stop getting it. Is not philosophy. This is science. In a certain extent, it means you vibrate something, a scenario, you are projected in it, or because it's à la carte in the multiverse. In a certain extent, let's not go too far. Okay, I invite you just to think about that. Let's say automatic pilot versus, in quote mark, manual pilot. Maybe we rotate, okay, when we want to sleep and so on. Certain extent, this is the metaphor. We will go further and further. The last video is probably the most important, because there will be the point 8, which is the relationship to God and our experience with God. Okay, so I will be even more transparent. I will share a little bit more. I will have some advice as well, some tips. So, well, I just hope that it vibrates within you or not. It's a buffet. You take whatever you want. I just try to help you to think and to reflect, to enlarge your perspective, your consciousness, because you are a piece of the masterpiece. We are all individually a piece of the masterpiece. Okay, to find back the inner piece, the outer piece, and to make a better word and a better piece, and the masterpiece in both senses. Okay, I hope it will help you for shaping your master key to open up the door of consciousness, of love, or whatever you want. As you know, all the roads lead to home and to the dome. Thank you for your attention, and see you very soon.